a big number of them have been completely disengaged in matters, politics, democracy, and all that. But various organizations, including Youth Agenda, of course, have been involving the young women through various programs, having activities that are very creative and attractive to this, and just packaging this democratic, right practicing information in a way that is very attractive to the young women.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Youth Agenda TV and welcome to the Speak Out session. Here today we're having a guest, a university student leader, and someone who has been part of the electoral process, who will be sharing with us their different opinions on the 2022 general elections. Welcome, Madam Shampi. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. My name is Shampi Ngendo. I am a student leader at the Technical University of Kenya. In my school's parliament, I am the speaker. I am also a coordinator of USPAC, that is Universities and Colleges Students Peace Association of Kenya. I am also a proud civic educator. I am also a youth advocate. Thank you very much. It's such an honor being here.
It's amazing having you here, given that university students play a big role in the elections. Yeah, you agree to that?
Yes, I do.
So, what role do you think the university students play?
The university students and
let's talk of the college students, all the
students in higher learning institutions playing a critical role during these elections. For the first time, I'd say that there are very, very many peace campaigns that are going on out there. As we speak right now, almost every student leader from almost every higher learning institution have gone through the basic training on matters peace as we approach the general elections, and these activities are being done very actively. We're talking of places and regions as far as Turkana, as far as Maseno, and also here in Nairobi. Very, very active, very, very rigorous activities going on matters, sensitizing people on just maintaining peace, going to actually vote to exercise their democratic rights, and for just us as students of higher learning institutions to be aware of the various ways we could be used to maybe do malice during these times, and to just refrain from that and be resilient enough to say no, we want peace. So the message has been elections bila noma, elections bila vurugu. The message has been let peace win, That is what is currently happening in most universities in Kenya.
Thank you for that. Now, you talked of very many student leaders being involved in the electoral process, in campaigns, peace campaigns and everything. Let's talk about the campus trend right now. Do you think many students will vote?
I'd say that IBC really did a good job in trying to register as many youth as possible in higher learning institutions. They provided BVR kits, and student leaders and also students that have influence in their respective areas of learning really did a very good mobilization to ensure that people come to register. And I'd say quite a good number did register. But when you're talking about going to vote, I'd say most of the youth that registered come from the universities. But now the question comes to, are they actually going to vote?
Yeah.
I want to be very optimistic and say that I'd say that quite a good number, almost over 90% of them that have actually registered will vote. But tukiangalia kwa ground sometimes, not very many of the university students, some university students in higher learning institutions are going to vote simply because they failed to register in large numbers.
Yeah. So speaking on the same, what are some of the factors you feel will make the students not vote? One, something that has been rampant, talk of voter apathy due to maybe they feel that their needs have not been addressed for so long. Why do you think most of them will not vote?
One reason, out of my experience, is during the time when there was mass mobilization of the students to register, you will find that there were some political interests going on there. And in these political interests, maybe someone wanted to register as a voter in the area where they will be during the time elections will actually take place. But because of that political influence, they go and register to some other place.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when you're conducting this civic education, you interact with them and they tell you, bana mimi niliregister sijui let me just give an example of Embakasi. Mimi niliregister Embakasi, but kusema kweli hiyo time mimi nitakuwa niko Kisumu, ama nitakuwa niko Moyale or some other place in Kenya. So they just tell you plainly that ni kweli to register a certain place, but it's going to be difficult for us to go to that place during that time because of that political influence, to just want to encourage people to go and vote. That's one of the main reasons why they would not. Another one is voter apathy, but I really want to say that a good job is being done to just get rid of this thing. And one of the main things that has been happening, or one of the main initiatives that have been happening right now, is the inclusion or maybe the sensitization of young women, especially from ages 18 to 24, who in the past have been completely, I'll use the word completely, a big number of them have been completely disengaged in matters, politics, democracy and all that, but various organizations, including Youth Agenda of course, have been involving the young women through various programs, having activities that are very creative and attractive to this, and just packaging this democratic, right practicing information in a way that is very attractive to the young women. Many university students will actually vote, and was it 39%? It was only the 39% of the youth that registered. I'd say that quite a huge number of that percentage, a huge percentage of that percentage are students in the universities. I'd say that.
So talking of elections, and now that we're confident many youth will vote, we have 13 days to the election, and I believe you've caught a glimpse of the manifestos being released by different aspirants. Talk of the presidential, the gubernatorial, the senatorial. Do you feel the youth needs have been articulated in those manifestos?
Yes, I'd say that the youth's needs have been very, very well articulated in those various youth manifestos that are across all these coalitions and all these parties and all that. And most notably is the huge policy on revamping the economic sector for the youth, and to just ensure that now the economy is able to absorb the number of people that are coming either from the TVETs or the universities and colleges and whatnot, and very many policies or very many points in the manifesto point out to the fact that we are acknowledging that there's a very serious economic crisis that the youth fall victim of, and we want to address this. So for me, that was when you're talking about economic, trying to empower the youth economically, we're talking about education, we're talking about health, we're talking about so many things, and all these things for me present themselves as the sustainable development goals, and I think they've been very well captured. Another thing that has also been captured in their manifestos is to increase the civic and the governance space, especially for the students in higher learning. And there's a proposal, there's a small document that encourages, they have been presented to the political parties, and it's basically talking about repealing the 2016 Act of using the delegate system, and which really limited the power of the comradeship power that was there in the previous years. And when we're talking about such things, tunaona Kenya iko very, the future for me looks very bright, and these different coalitions or these different parties or these different people that are in these spaces really know what the problems that need to be addressed, and the problems that will provide solutions. They know that the problems that are weighing the youth most especially down, and they've packaged it really well. We can only hope that once the winning team gets there, they implement whatever policies they have.
Talking of this, do you feel enough guidelines have been set to ensure that we'll have a peaceful election come 9th August? Talking of before, during and after election,
Enough guidelines. I'm not sure how much is enough, but what I can say, if you're looking at our past, 2007, 2013 and 2017, 2022 is looking way better than all those other years. And for the first time, as I had said, there is a launch of very, very many campaigns that are targeted towards peace. There's a regional, talking about every region, trainer of trainer programs that targets the influential people in the communities that will go and disseminate this information of peace. They're trying to involve as much and as many stakeholders as possible to ensure that the peace message gets to the grassroots, gets to those areas that are not very accessible, quite literally, and the peace message is being spread more than it was in the previous years. So in conclusion, I'd say that I'm not sure how much is enough, but I'd say we are very well prepared in terms of securing peace, or maybe trying to educate people on peace as we approach the 2022 general elections.
So talking of peace and young people, apparently young people are known as being the first people to cause violence during elections. They are used as tools of violence. What's your message to the young people in promoting peaceful elections now that we count in less than 2 weeks? What will be your message to them?
Okay, before I just give the message, there's one thing that really stood out for me, or was really my mind. It's very disturbing maybe to come into terms with. Tukiona hii violence inafanyika pale katika communities ama pale nje kabisa, you go there, you find students from higher learning institutions, someone who, when you sit down with, will tell you very well, I know what peace is, I know that what I do is wrong, I know that I'm just doing it for some small fee. And it's very saddening, because this is not a person you tell, unajua kenye unafanya ni mbaya, ama unajua kenye unafanya ita, and they know all this. So the biggest thing that we have to remind ourselves, as the youth, we have to remind our peers, and we have to keep on referring to, is resilience. And having resilience means having principles and values that we stick to, that there's no other Kenya. Before elections, during elections, after elections, we're still going to remain here. We're not going to go to another Kenya, and we're not going to run to our neighbors. We're still going to remain here. So if this resilience can only come from ourselves, deep within ourselves, and we speak out when we see things that are being done wrong. So my message is this, that if peace must prevail, and if peace must win in this country, then it must begin with the youth, because it is the youth that are the parents of the future generations, and there's no other way of securing the welfare of the next generation if the youth right now are not peaceful and are not advocates of peace.
Thank you. Given that we've spoken to the youth, I now want you to assume you're speaking to a leader, those aspirants who want the seats. They are not candidates here. Tell them one thing as a young person you want them to consider once they win those seats. What do you think they need to address? Which is the most urgent thing they need to address, which we as young people feel it has not been addressed for so long?
Speaking as a youth, right now, a message to the political aspirants, or the candidates for that matter. When you get there, the eyes of the youth are looking at you, the eyes of the youth are following you, and we are following you with eager expectations that the promises that were made to the youth to be delivered. And not just that, to ensure that the economic aspect of the youth is something that has been dealt with. Because the moment we deal with the economic problems of the youth, we are dealing with things to do with poverty. And the moment we are trying to eradicate poverty is the moment that we are trying to, prevent things such as, mental health issues as a result of nitatoa pesa wapi, nitaenda wapi, nitaenda ushago. The moment we deal with poverty, ama tukishughulikia maneno ya economic policies of the youth, we're dealing with the eradication ama the reduction of people that fall victims to drugs and substance abuse, even suicide. So the moment you get there, know that the youth are looking at you, and we're looking at you with eyes of expectations. Please deliver.
Thank you very much, Shampi, for having you today. Please give us a parting shot to everyone, the young people, the leaders, everyone listening and watching you.
To everyone that is watching me, wake up, stand up, rise up. Hii Kenya ni yangu, hii Kenya ni yako, hii Kenya ni yetu. Kenya ni mimi, ni si sote. So let's hold hands. Let's, in this critical moment is where our love is being tested. Let us ensure that we surpass this test na Kenya yetu iweze kuendelea vizuri na iweze kusonga mbele.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone who was listening and who was watching. Your host has been Gladys Njeri from The Agenda. The key message from the session today was peace and elections. Let us remember we still need a Kenya after 9th August. Thank you and have a lovely time.